but without us stepping into this interesting, like this white idea of what health is. It's like way back, I used to teach in Hartford, right? And so a group from Trinity, there was this nutrition group that was gonna come, and I was at Kinsella. So my classroom was mostly Puerto Rican, a couple other types of Latino, and some black kids. And they came in and they had this whole thing talking about fruit, right? And like in their little show, I can remember like they had these puppets, and the puppets were going to teach the kids how to eat healthy. And so there's a little puppet that didn't like fruit, right? And this other puppet comes and says, "Oh, but you know what? There's more fruits than just apples and bananas. There's mangoes." And I was like, this is dumb as fuck. These kids eat so many more mangoes than apples, right? And so as you're coming in with your lack-minded idea of how you're going to teach us nutrition, you do know we got the lion's den, right? You do know, like, there's a whole bunch of us who eat better, and because ours is coming from a place of abundance. Like, you go to an ITAL place and go eat with some Rastafarians, the food is delicious because this is beautiful ITAL food for your body, right? You go to a bunch of these white health food places, and because it's this lack mentality, like, I'm taking care of my body, so therefore this food doesn't taste as good because it's good for me. And we all eat this like bland tofu sesame seed shit that's not delicious, but look at us, we're better than everyone else because we're taking care of our bodies. We need to make sure that those are not the models that we use, even though there's the money behind them and the good white people with the names and stuff. We need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves in ways that make sense for us.
And that'll make us even live a lot longer. Like that'll, or at least the body, or at least our vessel that we're in, because we're in our vessel. So at least as long as your vessel can live a little longer, to, put a couple healthy things in your body. I'm gonna give you 3 more questions.
Yep.
And then we're gonna wrap the podcast up. What is your opinion on your local politicians? Are they serving society in the way they need to serve them?
That's loaded and large. Some are, many aren't. Part of what I gotta do, honestly, is figure out what everyone's role is. So there's some politicians who I wish were doing more, and some politicians who I can see that even though they're not doing what in my beautiful mind they could be doing, they're playing the role that they're playing, and they are doing what they can do and should do in that role. But I do think there's a lot of them who are not thinking as large and as long as I think they should, right? So
is it because they're concerned with their paycheck, in my opinion, or they're concerned with their position, or they just concerned with their royalties, or I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it from an outsider perspective, because if you had the power in these boards that can, obviously give certain, obligations to certain people's circumstances from the inside, not the outside, why would you not really want to make it happen? And the only way from outside looking at it would be, well, I get a good, good 2-week paycheck, or a good, when you say a paycheck, it would be a good, it's not really a paycheck, it's another word I'm looking for.
Payback, return.
Whatever, when you get your check, but it's like a paycheck, but it's like they get, because when you're on, I feel like when you're on the board, you're not signed to like a contract, so you get a contract, like, you get like a contract, like a percentage of your contract.
Oh, like paid?
Yeah.
Most board positions aren't paid, but there are other interesting ways that they end up being paid off of the boards.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just saying, from my perspective, I just feel like, because I feel like you're in that position, because you get some kind of royalties, you'd be like, well, because I'm tapped in, I don't really need to.
No, there's stakeholders. Sometimes boards have stakeholders in certain ways, like, but there's almost always, when you look at a lot of boards, and you look at who's on the board, there are people who will in some way make money off of decisions that board makes outside, right? So as I was talking about, like, the board that we've got to put together here, and I was saying, like, I just need to have work with people. If I have a board here, and like, I'm setting this up for perpetuity, right? So this is gonna last forever. This is a land trust. So
you want to go be on the board now?
Yes. Well, look. I need and like the writing the bylaws to make sure that it's right going forward. But like, if there was a developer, right? So if there's someone who owns 20 properties in Hartford, right, and they make money by developing properties.
Yep.
If they were on the board of this, the way they think is gonna steer towards development, right? And it's just understanding that that's their lens. That like, you know, you got a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So a lot of these boards, these people don't even realize how deeply they're working in self-interest. So boom, going back to what I said before. If you serve self-interest, you'll never serve your purpose. If you serve your purpose, you'll serve your self-interest. Lots of folks get on these boards and serve their self-interest, and because it's a board that says that it's doing altruistic good work, they can lie and fool themselves into believing that no, I'm serving my purpose because like this nonprofit works to alleviate hunger. Dude, they've been around for 60 fucking years.
And it's still the same.
They're trying to alleviate hunger and they're not good at it, or they figured out a way to continually make money off of making people feel right. So that's board stuff, local politicians. I believe wholeheartedly that it's our job to hold our local politicians completely responsible and accountable, and bring all of our regular stuff to them, right? Like, I'm always overfilled with joy when there's some type of a council meeting about whatever the subject is, and regular Hartford shows up and doesn't give a fuck about what's on the agenda. They're going to talk about the thing they want to talk about, because that's what needs to happen. A big reason why this labyrinth here is built is so that we can understand and own our issues. Like,
talk about it.
And this is the thing that has happened and hurts my soul. When I've had moms, because I do a lot of educated stuff, but whenever I had moms come in and talk to me and be like, my child's special needs, my child's got a, whatever, but speaking about the child who they love. And they're coming to me to talk about this child who they love so that we can steward this child through this system. And the words they're using are words of the system to describe their child, right? And when I talk about the energetic level, there's something really wrong energetically. Like if that's how the teacher needs to talk, if that's how the school psychologist needs to talk, then use all those words. But they also need to speak the language of the parent if we're centering this child.
Yes, because everybody education level is not the same balance, so you can't try to over talk a person because you feel that you have a certificate or
and believe that belongs there. Because if you as the system and the teacher representing the system, if you believe that you've got a better idea of an outcome for that child than this person who loves them, then you're wrong. You shouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. You are there to serve that parent, to take that child and meet the parent where they are, but then also it's not a special needs child. That's her son, that's her daughter who shows up this way, who does this.
We have two more questions on the Gentleman's Talk podcast. What's your favorite thing to cook with a drink on the side?
Ooh, that's
so
fun.
When you get into the kitchen, if you want to when you get into your bag and you want to cook, what you chefing up?
I'm thinking, oh shoot, I chef up a whole lot of stuff. But
what's your go-to meal?
Go-to meal is butter chicken because that's my son's favorite, right?
So butter chicken, what you eating with?
That's it. Butter chicken usually with, when the kale is out there, kale.
Okay, kale.
But I'll do spinach.
Okay, spinach.
And rice.
And rice.
White rice. I like white rice.
I love white rice.
Yeah.
What you drinking with it?
Pretty much everything. Either Snoop Dogg, and I'm trying to stay away from that because fuck Snoop Dogg. Fuck Snoop Dogg, but the 19 Crimes, his red blend, that or cupcake red blends. And it's funny that you said that because there's sometimes I'll start cooking and I'll realize, there's a problem because I don't have my glass of wine in my hands, and I will go, and yes, there's always that.
So she drinking her wine with it. That's wonderful.
Always.
Okay, last question on the Gentleman's Talk podcast. If you could go anywhere in the world today and come back whenever you wanted, where would you go and why?
Does it have to be in this time period?
It doesn't have to be it could be any time period.
Okay.
Where would you go and why?
Right now at this moment.
If you could leave and come back whenever you wanted, and everything's still the same, nothing's touched nothing, where would you go?
The catacombs of the Vatican. If I could just boom bang. Yep.
Okay, catacombs in the Vatican.
Yep.
Why would you go there?
Because I want to see what the fuck there really is there, right? And there's a whole bunch of shit. It's in Latin, it's in pre-Sanskrit, it's in a whole bunch of shit I can't read. But there's stuff there that I want to see. I want to see the place, I want to see the aliens, I want to see all that good shit. But that's esoteric and big. But if seriously, if someone right now say Kamora 24 hours somewhere, I'm somewhere on a beach with a glass, no, not with wine in my hand. At that point, it's something tropical and like a fucking pineapple or something. But right now, it is just pure self-indulgent. I would love 24 hours on a beach next to a fort. Oh, have you ever been to Dunn's River? And yeah, there. Because you got like the what do you call it, the falls where they, yeah. So there's like a place on the, yeah. I would be on the beach in Jamaica right now, right between the falls and the beach and the water.
That's what. Any shout outs you want to make on the Gentleman's Talk podcast? Anything you want to promote, shout out?
Shout out to absolutely everyone who felt a thing. Everyone who felt a connection, right? I feel you. We're here. This is it. Also, extra shout out to my child who will probably see this at some point, and that's both of the children, because the oldest one, thank you for living through this shit, right? Because it's cute to say, oh my God, it was so hard. I was a teen mom. Thank you, Joseph, for being the child to the teen mom who went through that, and I love you because thank you.
And you will be seeing it because it's going on in the network. It's probably going to be produced in like 24 hours. It'll be probably coming out in sometime in February because I have so much podcasts coming out, but it's still going to be out there. So we appreciate everybody that's supporting, and I appreciate Kamora, and she's a wonderful lady. And if y'all ain't tapping into Kamora, or y'all living under a rock.
Come on in. And then our Thinking and Doing Day. So the next one is October 5th. Come in here, we think and do. We do things, we build things, we talk, we build.
And shout out to her birthday coming out in October. Because she's not October baby, so shout out to that.
And I'm Hartford, so Libra. So shout out to every Libra, because there's so much beautiful and amazing Libra energy in this city.
You heard? It was a wonderful episode. This was the Gentleman's Talk podcast. Hey, yo, we out of here, yo.